G'day guys, thanks for joining me today on this, well, for me here today it's raining. On this sad day, Queen Elizabeth passed away overnight, so that sort of set the mood. So I decided that I was going to put a bit of a spin on something being sad, and I'm going to turn it around and make it positive. So I pulled out a photo. I've had these photos printed for ages and I never really knew what I was going to do with them. So today I'm creating a layout called Pineapple Princess. So this one is my youngest daughter, God love her. That kid is a fruit bat. She eats so much fruit, and this particular day she wanted some pineapple and I didn't have any fresh pineapple. Anyway, so she rummaged through the cupboard and she goes, "We've got a tin of pineapple." And I said, "Well, if you want a tin of pineapple, I'll open it for you." Anyway, so I opened the tin of pineapple. I turned around. She'd taken the whole tin and she was sitting at the table and she had a fork and she had a straw and she was drinking the juice and eating the pineapple from the tin. So, of course, what do? Take photos. So I thought it was hilarious. I actually thought it was hilarious at the time. So I knew it was something. It was one of those memories that I knew that I wanted to get documented at some point. So I figured today was as good a time as any. So I'm using the DCWV paper pad from Spotlight, and it's called Sweet and Sassy. Now, for my friends that are overseas, I actually learned something, believe it or not, from TikTok. Now, I didn't know this, but there's actually, I just ran into it. I don't do TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. Occasionally in the afternoon, if I'm running a little bit early to pick the kids up from school, I'll sit and I call it my TikTok time. So what I decided to do was have a quick look this day. Anyway, this lady, she's from the US, and she said, and it was titled something like US versus Australia. Anyway, so she was explaining what the Australian equivalent to the US and vice versa. Anyway, she happened to say that Michael's is the equivalent out here is Spotlight. So I thought I might just mention that, because every time I say Spotlight, you guys, I mean, my New Zealand counterparts, they know what Spotlight is because they have Spotlight. But apparently the equivalent is Michael's. Little fun fact. Now, I was thinking about cutting out those diamonds, and then I went, nah, not feeling it today. I know there's a lot of black and white so far. Stick with me, colour does appear. I did think about using some washi, and this is me literally, today I have put the entire process from when I pulled the paper pad out of the cupboard, my ink selections, the whole thing is on here for you. So it's actually quite a simple page, but it takes layers to build it up. Now this is where I realised, so I've gone along here with my distress ink, and I was thinking to myself, it doesn't look right. I now know what people talk about, the difference between distress oxides and distress inks. Once you use the oxides, you don't use the inks as much. So I do when it's like a watercolor situation, but the oxides are just so much creamier. And so I switched over to, did I switch over? No, I'm still using, no, that's an oxide there, I think. I could be wrong. Give me a second and we will know, because if I go around it again, you will know. No, that's it. It's an oxide. So that was an oxide, yeah. So it was at this point that I realised this is what I'm going to do. So I put a tiny border around the outside edge, and I'm literally just using blocks. So it doesn't matter what size you have. Some of the feedback that I've been getting through messages and all this sort of thing. Now, I know this is in fast forward, but if you want to know how I do things, I'm about to do something. How's that for videoing the process for you? I thought while I'm cutting it out, I might as well leave it all in here so you know what I'm doing. And if you want to slow the speed down, just click on your 3 little dots and slow it down, and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm clicking on and how I'm doing it. So I am bringing out a video. I'm still working on it, of the actual process of doing that. I'm still working on the split screen thing. It will come together. I'm sure of it. Just give me time. Okay, so this is the boring bit where I realize it's printing and it's cutting. It's boring. But that's okay. So what else can I tell you about this layout? It's super, super simple. At this point, I considered using my shimmers in Bumblebee. And then I realized, you know what? Today's a little bit of a sad day. So I understand those that aren't in the Commonwealth, but you know, I actually adore the Queen. I think she is one of the most stoic people, and when her husband passed, Prince Philip, my heart broke for her, honestly. And I'm sad she's gone, but I'm glad she can be with him now. So that's just my 3 cents worth on that. But yeah, and now obviously we have King Charles III. So yeah, it's just a little bit heavy today. So I wasn't feeling the sparkle. So normally I like the glistening, shiny, glitter, sparkle. I add glossy accents to things, or all that sort of thing. But today I wasn't feeling it. So I'm using my finger daubers just to make the blend between the wild honey and, is it wild honey? Hang on. Yeah, it is. Look at that. I got it right. So I did mustard seed and wild honey. That's what I did there. So, and I used my finger dauber because I started using my brush. I don't know why I did that, but the finger daubers, you don't waste as much ink. Like, you get the spread and it goes, when you're just doing a thin, like a word title, you don't seem to lose it as much. Like, you seem to keep all the ink on the letter easier and get that heavy saturation right where you want it. And I mean, that's always my goal. I wanted it to be bright and bubbly and yellow, and yeah, that's what I was thinking. When I think princess or queen, I always think of Her Majesty's beautiful. She was always in colour. I mean, obviously, unless she was in mourning, but she was always in a beautiful colour, and I loved. Controversial. Okay, let's start some controversy. I absolutely loved that bright citron green that she used to wear. Oh, I love that colour. I know, and the blues, like, I love those on her, but I love that green. I've never been a green person. But yeah, I really, really love that colour. So I was feeling the bright colours. That's where I was going with this. And I thought, princess, crown on top of your head. This is how my brain was thinking this morning. So that's where this particular layout came from. So now I'm showing you, I wanted a pineapple. Okay, so here I go through. Now I do have the CRICUT design space. I pay the subscription. So I can actually go in there and click on anything, and it's included in my I know I said prescription then, subscription. So the cut file that I used is a pineapple cut file, and it's by Erica Digital Design. Now, she is in the CRICUT. I couldn't find an extra space to find her. You know how like Paige Evans or Copa Cut Files. You can find them on Etsy. I couldn't find this lady on Etsy. But if you have a CRICUT and you're interested in this sort of thing, or a pineapple, but I did notice she's got a lot of, cute puppies and all that sort of thing. And yeah, so that's Erica Digital Design. That's where I got the pineapple from. And all I'm doing is cheering myself up with some bright colour, creating a little bit of a shadow and I have not put any gesso on this at all. These are all Distress Oxides because that way they will be a flat colour in the end, if that makes sense. So I'm not putting any gloss in there. I'm not adding any shine or sheen. Probably could have. I have considered maybe adding a little bit of glimmer brush or sparkle brush from, I've got the Uniquely Creative ones, and I am thinking about adding a little bit. Now I'm looking at it, I think the crown needs just a little bit of shimmer, but I'm not feeling the shimmer today. I'm not. So I think I'll just leave it how it is. So yeah, so this is what I did. And yes, you can see that there's water there, but I'm not waterlogging it. I'm using American Crafts textured white cardstock. Now it's only £65. It's whenever I cut anything on my CRICUT, I know this sounds crazy, but if I'm cutting something really intricate, I use that particular cardstock because every time it will come back off the mat perfectly. I can do something like I'm doing now and I can get it off the mat, not a problem. I can lift things up. And I mean, I'm trying really hard not to add too much water. But I need to dilute the ink a little bit, otherwise I might as well just stamped it. So, but it comes together. It's coming together for me. Now I'm thinking I'm going to paint an entire pineapple with a tiny brush. That's not going to work. So what I'm trying to do with the brown is, this is obviously going to be in between the pieces of the pineapple. So I'm just putting this on a piece of packaging, so that way I can just keep reusing it. I reuse these pieces over and over and over until I put glue on them, and then I'm done. So at this point I then realized, okay, I actually want, that looked really awkward, didn't it? Felt awkward too. So see, now what I want to do, and I'm using the CRICUT mat as my third hand, which I say all the time. With crafting, sometimes I can make things look really difficult, but this is so simple. I mean, a preschooler could do this. So yeah, and I've just put the glue on the back of my hand because we have just the right temperature here today. It wasn't setting super quick, so that was really good. And it just makes it a bit easier to get a thin amount of glue on the back. So it totally worked. So I'm adding all my little pieces in here. It's honestly, it's like paint by number. Super, super simple. So what's everyone up to this weekend? This video will go up on Saturday Aussie time, 5 a.m. My daughter has a competition this weekend, a gymnastics competition. So that will be fun. Getting her extra. I'm going to okay, wish me luck on this one. I'm going to endeavour to try and convince her that I need to cut a couple of inches off her hair this afternoon. Before I have to... I'm sorry, I apologise. That was my daughter's dog in the background. He's snoring. Gizmo, stop snoring. Put your tongue away, buddy. He's the cutest dog, I swear to God. The first time I ever do a live, I promise you, I will bring him in and you can see him. He is adorable. He is super cute. And now he's staring at me because I woke him up. Oh, it's all right. He'll go back to sleep. So, yeah, so I have to try and convince her. I'm just adding some shadowing here, by the way. I am going to convince her that she needs to cut a couple of inches off her hair because her hair is so damn long, which is great. It looks beautiful and she loves her long hair. I'm all for that. She wears it in 2 braids every day, which is awesome. But when I have to try and wrangle that hair into a bun that stays on top of her head for a gymnastics competition, it's not easy. So, wish me luck. I'll let you know on the next video if I succeeded, or I'll whack it on Facebook. The link's below, guys. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, some people do Facebook, some people don't. I give you the option if you want to join the Facebook group. Obviously, it's free. And that's where I put multiple photos on different angles of all my layouts. That way, if you're like me and you can look at something and duplicate it, if that's the idea that you want to run with, go for it. And something I haven't said for a very long time now, or it feels like a very long time, any of my videos that you see, any of my photos that I've put on a public forum, feel free, go for it. If you want to copy a part of it, go for it. If you want to copy the entire thing, you want to scrap lift it, go for it. I am under zero illusions that once I put it out there in the public forum, that I own it. The only thing I own is the artwork at the end that goes in my scrapbook. And I get that. Times might change 2-3 years down the track and I might consider doing something slightly different. But at this point, I'm here to hopefully teach you guys something a little bit different every time I jump on here. Or a technique, show you a little bit closer. So with this pineapple, what I'm doing is going around it with a Posca pen. It's a 0.7mm black Posca paint pen. It's a matte black and it goes over the distress oxides really well if you let them dry. I had an amazing subscriber say to me, Karen, the problem is you're not letting the oxides dry. And yes, I listened, I learned, so I learned from you. You guys tell me things and I learn too. So now I let the oxides dry properly and the Posca pens work on top of them. Oh, you'd think I'd know that by now, wouldn't you? But, oh well, she'll be right. I'll figure it out eventually. I did wreck a few pens doing it though. Whoops. Because, you know, they're cheap and all that. Not. Okay, so now I'm just adding my Pineapple Princess title, which I absolutely adore. I think it looks so cute. Now, I did consider going around the Pineapple Princess with a black pen to make it pop a little bit more. But what I ended up doing instead was, I did my journaling before I took photos. Mainly because it wasn't very personal. It was just the story I just told you. You actually can read that when you're looking at it. It's just in the photo. It's just on here. You can't really see it. Okay, so I just ran the black soot distress oxide around the outside edge and that seemed to work for it. So here's the close-ups, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to hit the thumbs up, that would really help my channel out. If you're not a subscriber already, it is free. Feel free to subscribe. I post 6 videos a week. Sunday is usually the day I don't post one, but occasionally I chuck in a freebie or an extra one for whatever reason. For example, Father's Day. Okay, guys, thanks so much. I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.